This episode is sponsored by Bang Boom Creative,
aka Luke Van Boom and his team of angel babies. Okay, so Bang Boom Creative are the only creative company you will ever need, and you will ever and should ever want. So they do video, they do audio, they do any kind of visual photography. So he's worked with Julian Marley,
Bob Marley's son.
And if you don't need to know any more than that, really, because
They are his credentials. Thank you.
That's all you need to know. So if you think you haven't got the budget, find it, because it'll be worth it. Yeah. You've got a little idea. But what you're going to do is you're going to be like, oh yeah, I will give Luke I will drop Luke a little email. He sounds like he proper knows what he's doing, and it sounds like we proper need something like that. So I will drop him an email, but I'll do it later. But I'm telling you now, this is your opportunity. You're not going to do it later. You know you're not going to do it later. So pause the podcast before it starts.
Yeah.
Because it's going to start any minute. Pause it. Send an email to hello@bangboomcreative.com.
Yeah. And tell him we sent you.
Yeah, because he loves us. So that'll butter him right up. But do it now. Take the first step. Take the first step now. You'll change your life. It was going to change your life. And you know I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you.
You. Oh. Sorry, I ruined that.
Welcome to Sex with Charlie and Nina. How are you doing, everyone?
Hello. Oh, we're being filmed.
Yeah, we're being filmed.
Yeah. That's it.
Who are we talking to?
Well, let me tell you. Seamless, as always. Today, I'm very excited to tell you who we've got. We've got actor, podcaster, Twitch streamer, label boss, former rapper, current sex symbol and superfan. It's Scroobius Pip.
Hello. I'm more excited to be here, I think. As you know, I'm a big fan, so
yeah, superfan.
Honoured to be asked on. Superfan indeed.
You've been wanting to come on for ages, but unfortunately when it was Two Girls One Shot we didn't have guests. It was just Stu.
It didn't really work otherwise, would it? No. I would have happily come on and bullied Stu with you, but you know, other than that, there's no real reason to be there other than that.
Yeah, we should really get together and do a podcast episode of just us bullying Stu.
100% up for that. Couldn't be more up for that.
Well, Stu's having the most stressful fucking morning of his life because you're here and we are unleashed. And
brilliant.
So he's frantic. He's pacing up and down the whiffin.
Yeah, he tried to wrangle us back in to the dungeon, but...
Can't be having that. No.
I don't know what his problem is.
I know. I don't know why he won't let us meet his friends.
Yeah. I mean, why would you want to go back to his dungeons of smelly dance floors and darkness when you're in beautiful, bright space, colourful, lovely backgrounds?
I know.
He can't lure you back, right?
No, he can't lure us back, but he just he goes, oh, why don't you meet for a coffee? And then he's like, get back in the fucking box. So you don't see it happening and it just like... Yeah. Before you know it, you're back in the fucking box.
Classic Stu.
I know.
No. Don't know what his problem is. We're delightful.
Yeah. Charming as fuck. We are. I'm going to start with like a little story. I know this is about Pip, but I feel like I need to tell everyone. I haven't told you, but something embarrassing has happened to me.
Amazing.
I mean, obviously.
Good. Excellent. Tell us.
Okay, so my boiler's broke.
Okay,
and everyone knows my track record with like porn scenarios breaking out with workmen in my house.
Mm-hmm.
But luckily he was horrendous. So there was no porn ensuing here. So my boiler's broke, it's leaking. So they've sent a guy round. So he's come in and I'm like, do you want a cup of tea? And he's like, yeah, sure. So he's on the worktop on all fours.
What?
That's the stance. So he's fixing the boiler. Trousers down. On all fours. And I've got to put the kettle on, and Alexa goes, "You've got one new notification." So I was like, what's my notification? Recently, this is Alexa, recently you bought realistic 8-inch suction cup dildo. And it won't stop. And I'm going, Alexa, no! It was so fucking horrible. I can't tell you. It was like, I was so embarrassed and it wouldn't stop.
Why was it doing
and then it's going, rate it out of 5. Fucking shut up!
Why was it doing that? I didn't know Alexa did that.
Yeah, it does that. But the thing is, I bought 1,000 things. That could have been one of anything. The other day I bought sticky traps for my houseplants to catch the little flies. And I bought it more recently than the suction cup dildo. So I don't know why she's going to tell you, oh, well, you got company.
Review this
out of 5.
I went on a podcast recently where you give them your Amazon password and they go through and just pick stuff, and I was shitting myself. It all went fine, but they didn't pick. I was going to say they didn't find anything horrific, but they didn't pick anything horrific. I've not heard from them since. They might have seen some shit, but yeah, I was terrified going into that.
They would have said
I don't know. My problem is I've got a bad memory, so I was like, I don't know what I bought on Amazon and what I haven't. So yeah, I was just nervous. I was nervous for anything sexual, anything like that. That's going to be like, oh,
yeah,
you bought this.
How did you like your 8-inch suction cup dildo?
Yeah, it's terrifying.
They sell everything on Amazon now, don't they?
They do. I never considered buying sex toys on Amazon, but I thought I needed it quick.
And I have Amazon Prime.
I've got Prime. It seems madness.
Same day delivery.
Yeah. I'll take that.
Because the boiler guy was on all fours on the surface.
You have just ordered.
And the thing is, I've never bought sex toys off of there, and I just thought, I'll just have a little browse. They've got loads of stuff on there.
Yeah.
But like, if you buy from like other sex toy retailers, it'd take a little while. I just think, I'm horny now. I'm not waiting 7 days.
Too much.
Yeah.
You never know when it will come back again.
Exactly. But this was a while ago, so I just don't know why it randomly picked that. Review your purchase. It could have been anything.
I love it.
Savage.
I know.
That is horrible.
And usually I'm like, and what was worse was, you know how I am with technology. I'm not very good, so I really thought I was so cool. Going, what's my notification, Alexa? And it worked so seamlessly, and then it ratted me out.
Yeah, I always find with Alexa, I think if you talk to her angrily, then she does it.
Right. Yeah.
It's almost like she can sense the tone.
Oh, she's got no respect for me at all.
Yeah, because
I say thank you.
Yeah.
When I've asked her for something.
Well, we've got an Alexa at work that plays music. So when I walk in and open up in the morning, I go, Alexa, on. Like that. And it comes on.
Aggressive.
Yeah.
I've not got any of that set up because I've got a stammer and I just don't want to be embarrassed when I'm home on my own. So it's bad enough being out in public. If I'm on my own going, sorry Alexa, just give me a second. Just hang on. Alexa just going, what are you talking about, you fucking idiot?
I hate that though, because she'll go, I don't understand what you're saying. You just think it's fucking simple. How many teaspoons are in a tablespoon? That's all I want to know.
You're worrying about your pronunciation of things. Speaking posh to Alexa to try and impress them.
Hello, darling. Yeah.
I said, order 1 suction cup dildo.
It's proper ruthless. But then Rebel will walk in and go, Lexa, is it going to rain today? In a little chimney sweep accent. And she's like, no rain is expected today. And you just think, are you fucking kidding me? I can't get you to do anything.
Yeah, you need to start being a bit more horrible to Alexa.
Yeah, you're right, you fucking cunt. Put on some 70s music. Yeah.
So what have you been up to, Kit?
Not a lot, really. I've been writing scripts, which is the most heartbreaking thing. Not heartbreaking, but it's just I've never done anything that you have to rely on so many other people to get stuff done, if you know what I mean. All my career, the podcast, I could just go, I'll do a podcast. Music, I'll make some music. TV and film, it's like I've written a script. I need 30 people to tell me it's good before we can get it made or anything like that. So I've been doing a lot of that. and I've just started streaming on Twitch, which is great because I feel like a cam girl. I feel like I'm kind of on cam, kind of trying to be charming and get subscriptions and tips, but whilst playing computer games.
Yeah, you do your buttons and stuff like that on there.
Right. A few weeks back, when it first got really hot, I decided to stream in a pair of short shorts.
Oh my God.
Got,
what is this?
Got a big reaction. Got a big reaction. But then the other day, genuinely, one of the games I'm playing, I've made a character and I've put the dude in a little crop top because I think guys in crop tops has to become a thing. Because
it
was great. Like anytime I see 80s things, and it's not like a big deal. If it's ever in something now, it's a gay guy or something like that. It's like in 80s stuff, it was all fine. So I'd put this guy in a crop top, and then one day I was about to stream, and it was like a little. His crop top is like a white shirt with a bow tie. I was about to stream, and I was like, I decided what to wear, and I saw a white shirt and bow tie, and I just thought I can tuck that up in a little crop top. So I did it as a comedy reveal. I start the stream, and I had my jacket on, and then I went back to say, right now, so I was in my little short shorts and a crop top and a bow tie. And I'm loving it. I can't get enough.
Is this free to
watch? Yeah, absolutely.
Brilliant.
Free to watch. But I realised it was genuinely my soft launch of trying to be comfortable wearing crop tops. Because I'm not a guy who's like, hey, I just wear anything and not feel like a prick. But I've been obsessed with it for a while. So this summer is going to be my year of coming out as a crop top wearer.
Yeah, I'm fully behind that because we love a man with pizzazz, don't we?
Yeah. Feel free to do that now.
You know,
tuck up.
Maybe
we're seated. The way we're seated, it will just that'll put everyone off crop tops forever. Here's my big plan, girl. Just slumped over. Does it look nice?
I love it. I love anything a little bit different, and we are a huge fan of like that 80s aesthetic.
Yeah.
So when you see these men in films, like we're always sending pictures to each other with like men with like really unbuttoned shirts with like a little vest, you know, like the little gangster, gangster type. Yeah, high-waisted trousers. I mean, all of it. But you just don't get it around here, do you?
Well, we weirdly had a conversation the other day about a style icon that isn't a usual style icon, but we love.
Oh my God, yeah.
This. Right. And we didn't know that we both wanted this, right?
Yeah.
Rabsy Nesbitt.
Amazing.
The string vest.
Amazing, yeah. And the bandana, the headband type thing off the...
Yeah. I was crying out for a string vest when I was a kid.
You just couldn't find them anywhere.
One. And even now, it's all like fishnetty. It's not like a proper
string vest,
Although, there is the guy, this is what sparked the conversation. So there's a man in town who, if you've seen Breaking Bad, he looks like Gus Fring.
Yeah.
He's exactly like
Amazing.
him. So, he wears very short shorts, like very,
love it.
like 80s PE teacher.
You would love it.
With a string vest and a trilby hat. Come rain or shine, that's what he's wearing.
Early 2000s, I swear, Shoreditch was mainly inspired by Rabsy Nesbitt and Timmy Mallet.
Yeah.
That was the two style icons that people haven't realised. You look back now and you're like, oh wow, this is what everyone started wearing. All the Libertine stuff, that was all just Rabsy Nesbitt. And then all your kind of the Claxons and that was all Timmy Mallet. It's simple. Just have no shame in your style icons.
Yeah. I hate all the stuff that is like around now. Like the 90s is like a big thing now all of a sudden. And obviously we remember it the first time around. But they're picking the shittest things from the 90s. Yeah. You just think like, what? There was some really good stuff in the 90s.
I get sucked in every now and then though.
Oh dear.
Like there'll be 90s stuff that'll be like, oh that's well cool. And then Chris, it'll normally be Chris that goes, you fucking hated that in the 90s. Like particularly with a lot of like, even just music stuff, like a lot of the garage stuff and stuff. Like I was a little metal kid. I went to school up the road here and would get the train in with my long hair and my undercut and like drawing on my bag and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And now there'll be like a classic garage tune comes out and I'd play it at the club night and Chris will be like, this is fucking embarrassing, mate. Who do you think you are? You were just listening to Green Day. Don't pretend.
Act like you.
Don't pretend you. I'm like, no, it's really good. I like it now.
Well, we were talking about shag bands the other day.
Yeah.
And they were a huge thing, which is really wildly inappropriate for teenagers, young teenagers, not even like the legal ones. And we would obviously cover our arms to our elbows in these like tiny little rubber bracelets for anyone who doesn't know what they are. And if you snapped one off of someone, which you would do intentionally, you had to have sex with them.
Yeah.
That all of my shag bands were intact. No one was fucking me.
They weren't big at my school, but I did go to an all-boys school. So
well, you say they weren't. Did you? Are you sure? They might have been doing something else to indicate. Yeah. Yeah. Did you have many shag bands?
No.
Nah. Well, you had a Jar Jar Binks backpack. No one's trying to fuck you either.
No, that was really embarrassing. I thought Star Wars was really cool, but when I walked into school with a Jar Jar Binks backpack and it was like the head and the ears that come out, it was like a whole like 3D backpack.
Love it.
I got absolutely strung up.
A mate of mine gave me like a breakthrough years after the case. I was telling him about like, when I was at primary school, I had this teddy bear rucksack that was literally just a big furry teddy bear, and you could unzip his belly and put stuff in there. And I was explaining, I was like, it's bizarre because it was, I guess because it was expensive, my dad didn't let me take it to school. I only had it in the house. And my mate Stu was like, he was stopping you getting bullied. And I didn't realise 100% he was. 100% it wasn't because it's so precious and special. He's like, you're not going to school with a fluffy teddy bear backpack. So literally, but decades after, I was like, yeah, no, we had to keep it aside and all that. And my mate Stu was like, no, your dad did a good thing there. He stopped you being bullied for years.
So my parents hated me.
Yes, that's not it. Yeah. Off your pop with your floor length leather jacket and your Jar Jar Binks backpack.
Love it.
Oh, mate, things were hard enough for me as it was. Yeah.
Tragic. Absolutely tragic. School days, I hate school.
Oh, mate.
Yeah, I wasn't that into it.
Hated school.
No. Well, moving on from school, I did a little bit of a Googling of you. Because I like to have a little snoop. Yeah. You know, I want to know all the things.
Damn right.
And I came across something that I don't know if you're going to be aware of. So it was an article that was 10 things that you don't know about Scroobius Pip.
Oh, no, I'm not aware of this at all.
Okay. Well, numbers 1 to 9 were things that everybody knows about you. So, yeah, but number 10 was a little bit fruity.
Okay, exciting.
So, once you were doing some sort of Q&A and people were interested in your feet.
Okay.
And asked you about your feet. And you said, my feet are hairy.
Right.
Okay. I don't know if you remember this. And then from there on, I fell down a rabbit hole of pictures of you and your feet.
Right.
And it was too bloody late then.
I can't imagine there being many pictures of me and my feet. Number one, my feet aren't that hairy. It sounds like it was updated by Stu and Chris, because they're obsessed with how hairy I am, because I've got very hairy hands. That's the main thing.
I don't think I have got
quite hairy hands. Or not many people have hair on that part of their finger. It's like an extra bit. Most people have hair on this part, but I've got a few extra. But yeah, but they're therefore obsessed with me being really hairy. But you've got a little bit of hair on my feet.
You're not that hairy. No. And after all of the hundreds of pictures I've seen of your feet, they're not that hairy. No. So we can now confirm that you don't have that hairy feet. I mean, great feet. It's not my thing, but
I'm glad we got to clear that.
It's someone's thing, really, because someone is putting in quite a bit of work to create threads about your feet.
I love it.
Yeah, there's a website, wasn't there, called like wikifeet or something.
Wikifeet, amazing.
Wikifeet /Scroobius Pip.
I know. So how do you feel being like sexualised for your feet?
Oh, delighted, to be honest. I can't believe I made it onto Wikifeet. I've heard of Wikifeet, but I didn't know I was on there. I've never browsed it. I mean, that's cracking news. I don't think there's anything that wrong with my feet. I think they're all right.
Well, you actually described them as hobbit feet.
Hobbit feet? No, that's 100% Chris or Stu. I don't know where this interview came from, but someone else has described my feet as hobbit feet there.
Stu's put on a long beard.
Or Amy, probably Amy. She will have.
She's edited it.
Amy or her kids have said I've got hobbit feet. But yeah, they've got. I'm trying to think. I'm thinking of the exact hair pattern. There's a bit of hair at the top of the foot, and then just a smattering on a few of the toes. Not even a lot, but literally, I'm talking 1 or 2 hairs.
Yeah.
I didn't think they were that hairy when I was going through all of the hundreds of pictures.
I said to Charlie about this morning.
When I've had any photos taken with no
hair
shoes
on your feet at all.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. They're not that hairy.
They're not.
If anything, they're weirdly hairless. Yeah, considering how hairy my legs are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a sudden stop.
It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, it is weird.
I don't know. Maybe they're just hoping they're hairier than they are. I don't know. I mean, if you're into feet, do you want them to be hairy? I don't know.
Yeah, I guess it depends what you're into in that respect.
Yeah. I mean, hairy guys, yes. But specifically hairy feet.
Specifically hairy feet.
Yeah, I don't understand that fetish, really. Like, I think feet are nice when they're nice. Do you know what I mean? Like, when they're taken care of and they don't have... But some people love it with, like...
Oh, yeah.
Just all sorts of, like, bunions and, like, hair and just, like, grossness. And they're just like, yeah, feet, yeah,
I once had a toenail just go horrible and come off. Just speaking of the grossness. I'd climbed a mountain with Stu, in fact. And I came down, and it's because on the way down... The way my new hiking boots were, they were just doing a thing. So it wasn't even the climb up. Like, you know, where they crease in it. And it was just putting this constant pressure. And I went to a doctor because it had gone a bit black. And I went to a doctor. I was like, is this all right? They were like, yeah, it's probably all right. And then it just got worse and worse. And I went to a chiropodist. And they were furious at me for not coming in earlier. Which I was like, I went to a doctor. Like, I thought if it was bad, I thought going to a doctor was enough. She's like, no.
Yeah.
And they just started cutting it off without telling me they were going to do this. It was just like, right, lean back and then just start going at it. I'm like, oh, okay. And they just fucking hacked off my toe. It's all back now, as you can see from the photos.
Yes.
It's all back now and
maybe
fine.
Maybe you should put some updated photos on.
It's traumatic to have this woman just... I thought I'd go and have it checked and then, we need to remove it. Are you available on Friday?
Yeah.
But no, it was like, okay, here we go.
Yeah, you don't need to be shamed for that, do you?
No,
that's a bit mean.
I felt terrible that I was like, I'm sorry, but I thought going to a doctor was quite grown up. I'm still, stunted child man type thing. I don't want to actually do adult stuff.
You are still
I thought I'm a proper grown up
for
going, right, I'm going to go to the doctors about this. And I said, no, apparently that wasn't enough.
But they treat you with such contempt, don't they, doctors?
Yeah, really.
Well, first it's the gatekeepers on the desk that hate you for having anything wrong with you. Oh, what, you want to use the NHS, do you?
Yeah.
Can't get past these
pricks. Only if you tell me what it is that you want to talk to them about.
Are you qualified, Barbara, to hear what's going on?
None of your business.
Yeah.
I know.
It's private, thank you.
I know. And there's like a whole fucking queue of people. And you're like, what do you want me to say? There's a problem with my vagina? Do you want everyone to know? I'm here for a smear. Is that okay with you?
And then Alexa bites up in your pocket.
Yeah. Did you just say? Oh my God. Yeah, and then the doctors shame you for not coming sooner. And you're like, I would have if there wasn't a 28-week waiting list.
Yeah, well, I spoke to a doctor the other day and over the phone, and she was training someone. So she was like so helpful.
Yeah.
That's what you need. Yeah. You need to get someone, just by the way, I hope you don't mind, but we've got someone here that's listening in. And I was like, brilliant. Now you have to do it the right way because someone is listening to you.
I swear doctors are run by a fucking Riddler these days. Like, whenever I ring up, they're like, no, you have to ring between 6 and 4. You have to ring between 6 and 6:05 to get the initial meeting. Then we'll tell you when to ring. It's like, fucking ring. I'm talking to you now. No.
Oh, no.
You must ring before 8.
And then they always end the call with me like, what would you like us to do? I'm not a qualified doctor. I don't know what I want you to do. Sort out the medical issue that I've got. And you just think like, why are you asking me? Are you a doctor? Or are you just like an in-between man for the receptionist?
What's going on?
It's madness. But like, I rang them up the other day and about my thyroid, which is like up here, and all they were interested in was my vagina, basically. They were like, have you had a smear? And I'm like, yes, I have. I don't feel very well because I've recently had surgery. Thought about contraception? You're like, listen, like, there's a hole in my neck. yeah, but how many sexual partners have you been recently tested? And you're like, what is this?
They listen to Sex with Charlie and Nina. That's
yeah. It flashes up on their phone, like, if this woman calls, make sure she's all right.
Get some information.
Well, they don't listen very intently, because if they did, they'd know that no one has touched you.
Exactly, yeah. You're asking the wrong fucking one of this duo, let me tell you.
Start asking questions like, let me send you this link. This will answer all the questions you have.
That's the reason I bought the fucking dildo in the first place. The doctors were like, how many sexual partners have you had in the last year? Oh, none. You fucking loser. And then just sending me like links to sex toys.
Anyway, shall we have a conversation about sex? Because that's why we're here.
Yes, we're here.
So how do you feel about this conversation? Because Stu actually said to us, no, he won't talk to you about sex.
No, he's completely wrong. I'm 100% comfortable with it. I've been surprised when on the Two Girls One Shot podcast how much of a prude Stu is. More not a prude. It made me realise that he got married quite a while ago.
Yeah.
And sexuality and sexual conversations have opened up a lot more since then. So I don't mean a prude. It just there was a few points he was really shocked at something one of you girls said that was completely not shocking, not quite regularly. Be like, what? You met someone in a hotel? But yeah, and he'd get really outraged. But yeah, no, I'm completely fine with talking about it. I think the more people talk about these things, the better. Like I've had periods in my life where, particularly there was a big chunk when I was doing music and doing my own label that, and this is going to sound like I'm just being a bloke, I couldn't have a relationship in that period. So, but if consenting adults want to have sex and everyone knows what's going on, that's the key bit. The thing that used to annoy me with people on tour, where there'd be all these dudes who make people think they've got a girlfriend in every town and stuff like that. And that's horrible. And genuinely in that period, not that I'm making myself out to be a player, but I talked myself out of more sex than I talked myself into. Because I'd be like, just so you know, before anything happens, I'm not about this, and it really kill any mood, kill any vibe. Like, yeah, let's not bother, shall we? But because I was paranoid about that, because I was a kid growing up around here that got screwed over by girls and got kind of messed about and cheated on and stuff like that. So I'm really paranoid to, particularly in that period, if it is going to be just adults enjoying an encounter, that everyone knows what's going on. Because again, it's also easy to go, everyone knows what's going on and they don't really know, and you're leading someone on or stringing someone along, and I think that's fucking horrible. So
it's hard, isn't it? Because I think like you don't want to, and you don't feel like you should have to lay everything out on the table to a complete stranger. Do you? But I think if everyone was more kind of like open about it, it would just be more of a casual conversation rather than just to let you know this. Do you want to have sex with me? No? Okay, cool.
Okay, see you later. Thanks for coming.
Give them the option, because there's
Thanks
nothing
for coming
worse.
to my TED Talk.
Here are the reasons not to, here are the reasons for.
Pros and cons. No, we're leaving it? Okay, no. Completely understand.
Definitely is easier to talk about things and sexual encounters and relationships now, but before, I think men would be scared to say to women, oh, I don't want a girlfriend, in case they were like, oh, well, I won't have sex with you then. Most of the time, women are relieved. They're oh, thank God. I thought you were going to call me. Oh,
it's one of those conversations have to happen more because of the myth of guys wanting sex and women wanting love. Or if a woman wants sex, she's a slut or whatever else. And also for this is going to get heavy all of a sudden, but for the safety of sex workers, because it's because of the taboos that sex work is illegal in this country and loads of other things that makes it more dangerous for sex workers. And that's mad, because sex is sex.
Yeah.
People should have a right to do it however they want. If some women want to make money from it or can make money from it, fucking good on you.
Yeah.
Go ahead. If they don't want to, that's fine too. But it's because of all the taboo around it that we end up putting all these restrictions on that makes everything far more dangerous. And just in general, like as you say, if it was more acceptable for women to just want to be sex. There wouldn't have to be any shame or secretiveness, which then puts women in more dangerous situations with guys because they're not letting people know what they're doing. It's weird. I remember a few Christmases ago that Baby It's Cold Outside got a lot of stick because it's such a rapey song.
Yeah.
And I was on board with that. I was like, that sounds so dark. But then someone explained the history of it, and it's because at that period women couldn't admit to wanting to sleep with someone, so you would have to make I have to stay over because it's cold outside or it's snowing or these things. So it's not actually this rapey song, it's just that at that point in society you had to come up with these outrageous reasons to be alone in a room with a man rather than I fancy this person. So
I think that's even still true now. Like, we can't be open about like, I want to have sex with you, is that okay? Because then it's like, oh god, okay. Yeah. You kind of get judged for that, don't you?
You still have to go on dates with people that you don't want to see again. You just would have sex with twice. Like, like you're forced into this.
To make sure. To make sure.
Yeah, you don't want to, let's not jump the gun, You want to see if it was really that bad the first time round. But women are forced on these dates to wherever you're going. You have to sit through dinner with this person and you just think, I don't actually even like your personality, but I definitely would bone you. So,
but you have to have a meal first.
Yeah, because then it looks like, exactly. What, like, let's normalise just being like, do you fancy just like having sex? And then maybe after we could eat pizza or something.
Yeah, 100%. And equally, it's fine the other way as well if that's what you prefer. That's the thing that gets me, is the idea that anyone is wrong. I always remember I had a mate who was in an open relationship. And again, I think open relationships can be perfect for people, but the thing that annoyed me was this person was like, everyone else is an idiot. I've got it right. This is how relationships are meant to be. And I can see part of it because so many people cheat and so many people get bored and stuff like that. And their argument was, we don't have to have any of that because when we get bored, we go and sleep with someone else and then it's nice to come back and all this kind of thing. I'm like, that's fine, but that doesn't mean everyone else is wrong because we're all different. Yeah. Some people would not be comfortable with that at all, happy in that. And I think on all things, sex and relationships, it should just be an openness to we're all different and everyone can do what they want and be into what they want kind of thing. As long as no one's hurting anyone. Or, I mean, you might be into that, but as long as it's consensual, as long as people are consensually hurting each other, then it's all good.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
I know,
But the reason Stu would have thought that is I'm not one to chat about sex and stuff in a laddie way. I've never been one of them lads who's like, fucking hell, we never guess what I got up to last night. If people ask or talk, and again, he's right in that I'm not going to sit here and talk about specific people or this one time I was going out with this girl called Claire and this and that. It's like, because that shit's personal. But the reason he thinks that is we've got a few mates who are a bit more, guys, I've got to tell you what happened at the weekend. And it's kind of a validation thing almost. And I've never been that person. Hopefully the validation happens in that moment.
Yeah, of course.
If you need the validation later, then there's something not going right around there. That should be the bit that's making you go, oh, that was good, wasn't it?
We love a little chat between ourselves. Like, I'm not going to pretend like, if an electrician comes around my house and I'm like, grab hold of it, I'm not going to just keep that under my hat.
No, 100%.
But, like, we're not out there going, fucking hell, check this dick out.
Or for me, it was in workplaces that it used to annoy me. Yeah. It's like we're not even that close. I understand it with your pals or whatever, but we're not even that tight. Yeah. And when you sent a few kind of pre-questions for you, one was about shit shags, and it instantly came to mind. I used to get really annoyed when I worked in HMV because it was all quite, any job you're in with all the same people, you go out at the weekend and it might all get a bit incestuous. This person slept with that person.
God, it's terrible.
All that coming, particularly in shops, particularly in shops that aren't your kind of posh shops, the ones that are a bit more alternative, and HMV was back then. And lads would come in and be like, I slept with whoever. Oh, fucking hell, it was shit. And I'd always be there thinking, you were part of that. Like, you're slagging yourself off. And I genuinely think shit sex is down to two people. Yeah. Like, I've had shit sex. Yeah. And afterwards I thought, man, I didn't do the job there. There's more I should have done. I didn't come away going, fucking hell, what's wrong with her?
I was great.
shit. And again, it can just be that two people don't fit sexually. It doesn't mean that they're bad in bed.
Yeah.
It means that they didn't click.
Well, that's what that question was about. Like, shit sex doesn't have to be like, oh, I had sex with him and they were just unresponsive or whatever, and it was horrible.
You were there. You could have done something about that. You could have encouraged. You could have asked. You could have engaged. There's so much you could do. I hate the after the fact going fucking hell.
Yeah.
So you were part of it, mate.
Well, we had a lot of guys. It was mainly guys, wasn't it? We put a little post out and was like, what's the worst experience? And we had an influx of messages about men telling us a scenario where they thought they were coming out looking good. And we were like, oh no.
Yeah.
This was bad because of you. Yeah. This is a you problem, not a them problem. And we had quite a few of those, didn't we? So I think you can't
all of that, even the kind of she was just laying there not moving. I think so much of sex, good sex, is about confidence. About both people being comfortable and confident. Yeah. So if she's laying there not moving, it's because you've not made her feel confident at all, and you can do something about that. Yeah. You know, it's kind of it's those simple things that if you're just laying there going, oh fucking hell, then she's not going to suddenly go, right, I'd best up my game. She's going to be like, fucking, I want this over with as quickly as possible and get this man out of my house. But
I saw a little, sorry, we will go to the questions. I just feel like I just talk forever. I saw like a little video clip. I don't know what the correct term for it is. It was on the internet. Moving meme. I don't know. These two girls were chatting about men in the gym and them lifting like these tiny weights and making all this like roaring and noise and sweating. And then when you get them home, not a peep. She was like, where's that? Where does that go? Yeah. Is it because you're trying to impress everyone else? Try and impress me. And well, I don't like to speculate, but I will say I think Stu has sex in absolute silence.
That's the thing that cracked me up. The lack of playlists and stuff, just the absolute silence, just, it killed
We already know that he doesn't like any sound around him.
Oh no, I wondered if he's chatty. And that's why he doesn't have music on.
Can you imagine? Yeah, turn that down. You won't be able to hear what I'm saying.
The fact that the idea of music was so shocking, I'm like, I reckon he's a bit chatty. How's that all coming along? You like that? Is that all right? All right, no problem, lovely.
Oh, no, that's even worse. I mean, it was creepy enough when I thought it was like fucking a silent film. Yeah. But like when it's him just talking.
Just having a good old chat, having a natter. Yeah. He loves talking. He loves talking. It's confirmed by the podcast industry.
Yeah, can we go back to thinking that he was having sex in pure silence, please? Because that is a lot less creepy than him getting out the paper and...
Yeah, I've made some notes.
Oh, fuck. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, right, let's go back to our question.
Position 4.
The girls were telling me about this. They met them in a hotel and they did this.
He's done his prep.
Oh, God, can you imagine?
Yeah, him trying to do the Eiffel 69.
Oh, fucking hell.
If you just balance on your head, that's it. Yeah.
All you got to do is just hold my body weight. No.
Yeah, you did a post about 69 the other day.
Yeah.
It was part inspired by listening to you guys because I completely agree. I think it's so stupid. And I'm 6'4", so even more so. It's just not functional. But yeah, I think it's hilarious as a number.
Yeah.
It cracks me up. Love seeing it. Yeah. Always gives me a giggle. But as an actual thing, and I think I messaged one of you guys about a mate of mine, and it still kills me, a mate of mine who was telling a sex story in work, and the story started with, we were performing the 69. It's just the use of the word performing that has stuck with me forever. The rest of the story was just a bit of a tragic story because they got caught and it was embarrassing and he panicked and covered his face rather than his dick when someone came in. So in the panic he was like that. But it was
just pushed the woman's head down. Oh God!
We were performing the 69. But yeah, I just think, why are we in a rush? Like, we've got time. We can take it in turns. We can, focus and do a lot of... I'd rather be focusing on going down on someone than... And, doing that right, rather than being... Let's do it all at once, and then we can get it all over with.
Yeah,
So
it's very
if you're in a rush,
distracting.
have sex probably. But exactly. It's you're not going to be able to give as much pleasure, and you're not going to be able to receive as much pleasure because you're distracted by it all. So it's
But I feel
it's
like that's the
twofer.
point. I feel it like it's I'm not having a nice time, neither are you.
Yeah. If I'm not going to enjoy it, no one is. If I'm not going to enjoy it, have this in your face. Jesus. Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, it is. Okay, so what is the worst sex you've ever had?
I did have a good think about this, and the one that came to mind, as I said, I've had ones before that it just wasn't a good fit, and I don't really count that as bad sex because it's like that person's. And the one that particularly came to mind about us not fitting, I'm certain that young lady is amazing in bed because she's a very sexual person, but we just didn't click. But I remembered one. And I felt it appropriate because it was someone I was already in a relationship with and we'd had good sex. But this one girlfriend of mine at the time came to my club night with Stu and all that lot there and Chris and almost got thrown out because her and one of my mates were doing coke in the toilet, which was awkward because it's my club night. I'm not into coke personally, it's not my thing. But we had a hotel that night and we had sex. And I blame the coke, but I remember it just not going well. Just normally, everything that we're doing normally is great. And I remember finishing and her almost patting me on the head and going, "Oh, that was lovely." Or that was kind of wanting to just go off to sleep. And it was just the most... I spent ages going, "Oh, this isn't working. Normally, I'd go to, this isn't working. This normally works." And then, I remember it being over and just thinking, well, maybe it was all right. And then the reaction being like, "Oh, yeah, that was really nice. It was kind of lovely." It was like,
Oh, no.
Oh, that's
And that was just weird when it's someone that you have gelled with. So you know that was bad sex. This isn't a kind of, we didn't gel, we didn't mix. That was just
Did
for some reason.
Carry on dating afterwards?
For a little bit, yeah.
But once you got the ick?
I just didn't hang around with her when she was on coke. I didn't want the humiliation. I want to be able to deliver here. I'm blaming the coke. My masculine pride is blaming the coke. That's what it was. It wasn't anything to do with me being sweaty from a club night or being a general mess. But we didn't last that much longer afterwards.
No, I'm not surprised. Once the ick sets in, there's no going back, is there? And it can be anything, like someone's shoes squeaking. Like on a supermarket floor.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Never sleep with you again.
Yeah, job done. It's over.
Yeah. What's your most embarrassing sex moment?
Now I've got loads of these.
Okay.
Not really. The one main one that came to mind I'll get to, but I want an honourable mention first because it's a reflection of my dedication to comedy. Because I just can't resist a funny moment. And I was with a girl that I'd been seeing a little while. I still lived at my mum's house at that point, I think, and we're in bed, we're having a kiss. It's getting hot and heavy. She reached down and grabbed something, and I went, "Oh, found something you like." Because it just came into my head, and it ruined the mood. She laughed. It was good for both of us. We had that kind of relationship, but it just came into my head, and I was like, I can't not say this, and it ended the situation. That was it. We ended up just watching TV, but yeah, that was embarrassing. But no, I was once having sex with a girl that had dreadlocks, and midway through I looked down and I was fairly covered in blood. One of her dreadlocks had caught in my nipple piercing I had at the time and ripped it. It remained permanently twisted until I grew up and got rid of it. It twisted it and just started pouring with blood, and she hadn't noticed. So I'd had the pain, it had come out, and it was fine. Like the dread had come out of my nipple. So I was released, and I had to choose if I kind of go, excuse me, excuse me, because she was in the throes of passion, obviously. But I was proud that I just, I knuckled down, I got the job done.
Soldiered on.
I soldiered on, and then went and cleaned up the blood. And a nipple bleeds for ages, it turns out. That was just going and going. And Like I'd wake up each morning and there'd still be a bit of scar or whatever else there, or blood or scab. So yeah, bleeding all over someone was probably the most embarrassing, I think.
Hair gets everywhere though, doesn't it? We've had not me, but we know of people who've had some hair injuries during sex
and stuff.
Yeah, because when they're moving backwards and forwards, like in that motion, it turns into like a sort of wire kind of type thing, and it can cause lots of cuts. And yeah, the last thing you want is bleeding down.
Yeah,
below.
you think a nipple bleeds.
Yeah, vaginas
worse.
Bleed, but not in a womb way.
I've had girls in the past kind of, when we're going to meet or arranging or going to meet up or hanging out, kind of apologise to say I've not had a chance to wax or shave, and I've had to kind of go, look at me. I can't complain. I'm literally, my face is covered in hair, so
even if you're clean shaven, it wouldn't make a difference.
Yeah, because I'm gonna get hair in my mouth regardless. It's like I can't be judging on anything like that when I'm this hairy. So you do what you want, mate.
Well, I think the hair's making a comeback though.
Yeah,
so I think that's a good thing.
Completely.
Because that's normalise like women not having to shave every inch of their body.
Completely agree. But again, I sound like I'm doing this for to be all PC, but whatever the individual's into.
Yeah.
As hair started to come back, I see a lot of people going, yeah, if you want to look like a child or whatever else. I don't shame people who are more comfortable that way. That's absolutely fine as well. But either is fine. I think all of these things, we really get into this. It's us against them, rather than it being just I like being hairy. I don't. It's fine.
I know it's weird, isn't it? Because like there's sort of like hostility in groups of women that are like, oh, what? You don't shave everything, or you do shave everything. Yeah. You look like a child. Well, you look like an 80s porn star. Yeah.
I think women are women's worst enemies sometimes. I mean, I know we cane men for having high expectations of us, but women are just the same. Just think, just normalise, like we always say, feminism is just having a choice over your own body. Yeah. So if that's your choice, then that's your choice. It's not about, being hairy or not hairy or being born however you're born. It's your own choice as a grown adult to have what you want.
I am glad that hairy men are coming back, because that's been a thing like sort of in the last few years, because there was nothing more disappointing to me than seeing a guy who looked hairy. Like, like the hairy legs, hairy arms, hairy face, and then they'd take off their clothes and they'd just be like,
no hair on their feet.
Smooth, and you're like, no hair on their feet, I mean, that's an instant no. Get out of here. But they would like shave, because I went through a little bit of a spate of like dating bodybuilders, which I didn't realise the implications of that until they took their clothes off, and then I was like, oh, right.
Yeah.
So what? There's nothing under here. This is not going to work. Great body, but no. So I'm glad that men are like embracing a bit of like hair.
It looks like they're wearing the bits that were cut off of a sleeveless jacket and hot pants.
Yeah.
They've got the hair.
I know. Well,
they've got the legs and the arms covered in hair.
This one guy was like lasered, and so he had it like lasered to sort of like just above the knee, and you're like, that's never gonna come back. That's gone now forever. And now you look like you're wearing hair stockings.
I love it.
Such a weird thing to do. What are you going to do?
It's their own choice.
Yeah, I know it is their own choice. That's when I stopped sleeping with them.
And that's your choice.
And that's my choice.
Exactly. I love it.
Okay, so sex songs. I was excited to ask you about this.
Yeah.
But first of all, I want to talk about, you did a sex song.
Yeah.
Called Feel It.
Yes.
That's really sexy.
It's a sexy song. It's a cover of a Kate Bush song, and it's one of my favourites. And let's face it, it's a sexy song because of Natasha Fox, who sings on it, rather than me chatting away going,
oh, no. For me, it's you chatting away.
Well,
I'm just thinking.
Was there a woman on that track?
I love that song. We did a song. There's a hidden track, and I forgot about this, but on mine and Dan's first album, Angle, was the hidden track, And the reason it's a hidden track is because Dan didn't particularly want this song on the album, but the vocal is about giving a massage. So we had this breakout album with like these political songs and these songs about self-harm and really deep emotional stuff, and we ended with a song about giving a girl a massage. So that's on there. That's called, well, I can't even remember what it's called. Oh, it's called Reading My Dreams. And yeah, it's a massage banger. I can't recommend it enough. But yeah, Feel It was one of my it's probably my favourite Kate Bush song. And I wanted to cover it because I wanted to write kind of a male vocal to go along with it. So it's almost the same but changing slightly. So it is that both of their evenings are in sync. There's just that slight different perception. And in that song, really, the woman is the confident one and the man is a little bit more kind of, am I going to get this chance? This is exciting. Oh, shit, I'm going to have sex. Kind of thing. And yeah, we got clearance off Kate Bush to have it on the album, which I wasn't expecting. And then whenever we could get Natasha along, we did that on the tour, and it was just hilarious to go from all these kind of party songs and circle pits and mosh pits to go, no, if everyone can settle down. It was like the slowie. It was like the old days of playing a slow song in a club night. At the erection section, and we'd do that song, and it'd get all steamy, and then we'd do a cover of Cream by Prince. So we'd have a real sexual section of the set.
Yeah, I bet that changed the tone, didn't it?
It did.
Do you think you called the other song a massage banger? Do you think it's possible for men to give massages and not try and fuck you?
It's not easy. It's not easy, I'll be completely honest. Because it's all oily and that, and to be honest, one of the bits that needs a massage the most after a long day are the thighs. And they're so close to stuff.
Yeah.
It's just, you want to do a thorough job, but then equally, it's tough. So yeah, I don't think it's easy. I believe it's happened. I believe it has happened. I've heard.
There was this one case.
But yeah, it's not an easy one. Oh no, actually, I can give a shit massage and it not get sexual.
Oh, that's so the choice then. Yeah. You can have a shit one, no one gets sex, but you can have a good one and I'll treat you.
Me and my partner were discussing this the other day because we went somewhere that had a spa. And she was like, oh, we could get a massage together. I was like, I'm not that into it. And she kind of implied, oh, you could maybe learn from what they're doing. I was a bit like, fuck off. A good massage. But what we realised was, if I'm knackered, I'm still going to give a massage if she's had a long day. I'm a caring guy, but I'll just give a bit of a shoulder massage. I'm not getting oils out. I'm doing it probably through clothes or whatever.
Or maybe, a bit of that.
Yeah, it's a bit. So
it's a tap.
So it's not going to be that good because you can't really get a rhythm going because you've not got oils out. But if oils come out, then it's going to get sexual, obviously. So it's a trade-off. A shit average kind of shoulder rub, or where's this going? So yeah, I guess that's kind of the two options there.
Any of my massage clients are listening.
There's only one type of
this
massage.
This is not my view.
And any of my massage clients listening. Yeah.
So sex songs. Do you have a sex playlist?
100%. Again, this is what caused the initial kind of interactions between us, I guess, because I couldn't believe that Stu... I'm fine with Stu not having a sex playlist, but the fact that he didn't know sex playlists would be a thing. And again, it took ages of thinking about it that made me realise it's just because he's old. Because when he was single, playlists weren't a thing.
You popped on the wireless.
No, generally. Because I guarantee if you said to him, have you put on a Barry White or a Prince album or something like that when you think you're going to meet a girl or whatever, he probably has. But it's the fact that he's not really been... Or he's got a partner. So, and again, it's different if you've been married for 10 years. You're hardly going to have the hard fucking playlist to pop that on and let's go. But yeah, I've put together a lot of sex playlists. But again, I'll completely admit I've rarely got round to using them because again, it is also a weird thing. I completely understand what Stu was saying. At what point do you go? I'm just going to go and pop on the playlist.
Well, it's got to be
because it's such a clear turn of mood, isn't it? If you're kind of hanging out and go, and now, shall we stop talking, I guess? Because the playlist is on.
It was just the notion of him turning off all the sound in the house. And then, I know, and I just
thought, the opposite of the playlist coming on. You're sitting there just casual, and then there's absolute silence. You're looking out to appear from somewhere.
And his wife, just like a rabbit in the headlights, knowing what's going to happen next.
Naked out of the shadows in the corner of the room.
He put some white noise. Oh, no. And I said his kids must dread the sound of silence in the house. Can you imagine? Because he's dotting around listening to music all day, and then he's like everything off.
Let's turn this off so I can focus.
No, horrifying.
So is your so you've got multiple sex playlists?
Probably. I've never labelled them as sex playlists.
Oh, they don't have titles.
No. It'll be like when you have untitled
how
playlists.
Do you know which
there'll be
one?
a few different that I'll just be like, all right, just the songs are a clue. But yeah, so but again, I think there's some joy in putting together a sexy playlist, kind of like any playlist. Just going, what's really? This is nice. Whether you end up using it or not, it's quite nice to have a sexy playlist, I guess. But I've not got titles as.
Oh no, I've been shamed. I've been shamed for the title of mine. I actually deleted it.
Oh, good.
Well, Charlie made a good point and said maybe it's the reason no one's fucking you. So I thought, well, let's not.
Well, Starving has got the most depressing songs ever. It's no wonder you're starving.
Yeah,
amazing.
I know. So Starving is gone, and I'm going to start a new one. So I will take recommendations. So maybe you could send me a few of you, a mix.
I've made a few. I tried to think of a few that came instantly to mind, rather than check, because then you just kind of cheating. I felt like what's the real sexy ones are going to come to mind. Instantly, Darling Nikki by Prince came to mind because I love a bit of Prince, and it's just filth. It was the first song I think I heard that was just. This is talking about a girl masturbating in a hotel lobby, off the bat. Okay, that's cool. Redbone by Childish Gambino, because he's just incredibly sexy, and it's him doing his singy bits. Electric Feel by Frank Ocean.
I love Frank Ocean. Yeah,
that one is really. Again, it goes really quickly to absolute filth. It's this nice, sexy intro of music, and then as soon as he opens his mouth, it's something like I've been meaning to fuck you in the garden. That's his opening line. That's his opening gambit. It's like, okay, Frank, lovely. Let yourself in. Lovely to meet you.
It's a bit on the nose. That's
so you don't want it at the start of the playlist. And then I had a couple of Beyonce ones in there. Drunk in Love has grown on me. I wasn't particularly into it at first because of Jay-Z talk. Whenever she'd mention our beautiful bodies grinding up in that club, I think of long awkward Jay-Z just going.
Let's ruin that.
It turned me off, but I'm back on board with it. But Partition as well, and there's a remix of Partition by Azealia Banks and Busta Rhymes, and again goes straight to absolute filth. But it's a guy and a girl, and it's a girl's track, so it feels less misogynistic.
It's what you tell yourself when you're compiling your sex playlist.
And then finally I've put Yes and Pony, obviously. I don't care. Loads of people say Pony's a cliche and it's shit and it's rubbish. It's brilliant. I love Pony.
There's been loads of remixes of it lately. There was one to Fergalicious the other day, and I thought that was really fucking good.
Nice.
So that might make the new Starving to be
peckish.
Peckish. The new peckish playlist.
Peckish. Oh no, it's worse.
Yeah, but yeah, Pony, the moment that song comes on,
yeah,
you're just rolling around, aren't you?
Yeah.
It's such a tune.
That's such a tune, yeah.
And again, I have seen recently a bit of a backlash to people saying it's too obvious, it's too much of a cliche. I don't agree at all. I can't.
It's meant to be obvious though,
yeah,
isn't it?
Exactly.
Like if you've created a sex playlist, then you want it to be like, if I haven't made it clear already, I'm about to have sex with you.
Or Usher, Love in the Club.
Oh,
that was written for strip clubs, clearly. He's clearly gone, I go to strip clubs a lot.
Yeah.
I want to hear something.
Yeah.
Here's what I want to hear in a strip club.
Yeah.
It's perfect. And Pony's, exactly that.
Yeah.
It's like, it doesn't need to be subtle, as I've shown with Frank Ocean's opening line.
Yeah. What made you feel like the kinkiest person ever?
Well, again, I've as you can see, I've got my notes here because, as I said early on, I've got a terrible memory. So I was like, I want to make notes so I can actually talk truthfully. But I think kink's really interesting because I think I don't know if, or again, no, I do know something that isn't a kink, but my relationship with sex is very focused on the other person as well. I'm a fan of someone else enjoying themselves. Obviously, I like myself enjoying myself, but that's hugely part of it. And I think that's the weird thing with kink is if someone else is really into it, you can be into stuff that you wouldn't have been into. And the easy example I've always found the kind of daddy stuff really cringy and like weird until I was talking to someone who was clearly really turned on by it. And suddenly I was like, oh, hello, this is nice. I'm quite a fan. Prior to that, I'd always been like, oh, it wants to be called that. And it's not a kink I have. But when I was with someone who did have that kink, it was suddenly like, oh, I thought I'd be a bit uncomfortable with this, but not at all. Quite the opposite. This is fine. But then equally, I don't want to put it out there. It's like, that's what I'm into.
Right, everyone is going
not
to be
really,
in your inbox calling you daddy.
It's not what I'm into at all. But as I said, when I'd had that kind of thing from random strangers, I'd found it really uncomfortable and cringy because I'd be like, oh, I don't know you. This is weird. But when thinking of the thing that made me feel the kinkiest is when I thought I might have killed someone. So I was seeing this girl. I don't know if I've ever told this to anyone out loud, but I was seeing this girl, and she was quite into like quite aggressive, a bit of choking and stuff like that. And I'm fine with a choke. I've done a lot of Brazilian jiu-jitsu, so I really know the kind of the front is discomfort, the sides is to actually restrict oxygen. I'm kind of okay with all this, but we weren't even having sex. Right, this girl had been around mine and was about to leave to go and get the train, and we were in my living room, and we were a quick kiss goodbye got a bit hot and heavy, and there was a bit of choking, and clearly I'd misjudged something because she just dropped to the floor unconscious.
Oh my God!
And I softened the blow and kind of caught, and I was like, fuck, have I just killed someone? Have I got a dead body in my flat? And quite quickly she woke up, was absolutely fine. I was hugely apologetic for a long time after that, which kind of killed the mood a bit. But the worst part was her train was coming really soon, so she just had to go. She kind of woke up and was like, no, I really need to go and get on the train. So she was on the train kind of getting through it all in her head. But that once she wasn't dead, that was kind of felt like the kinkiest person in the world, because kinky enough to almost kill someone. That was pretty weird.
Is that what started your career as a serial killer? Is that what the turning point?
That was it. I was like, have I just killed someone? Because this was easy.
And sexy.
That felt great.
Yeah,
that was a really weird moment. But again, I don't think I've shared anywhere before, but this is a great, perfect time to to share that. I've got huge hands as well. So again, I think at that point, probably the first person that I'd been in a scene who was into that kind of thing. So I probably just didn't know the levels and what you meant to do in that situation, so just almost accidentally killed them.
Was there not a little bit of panic that set in? Like
huge panic.
Absolutely. What did you think? What were your first thoughts?
I genuinely thought, fuck, what do I do now? This feels like a film. Like, do I get rid of a body? Do I call the police? Like, genuinely, the thing's like, what? This is, yeah. And then, thankfully, as said, I kind of made a comfortable recovery position kind of thing. I get you there.
2 coins over her eyes, dots over her arms.
But no, genuine, yeah. It went from being sexy and a bit dangerous and a bit kinky to being fucking horrific. Like, genuinely, I've never had the colour come out of my skin so quickly. Just went pale, as did she, but that was for a different reason. Just went absolutely pale and just, pure panic and terror. Just thinking, fuck, what do I do? How? That's my life now. I've killed someone. I'm going to prison. This is it. Everything kind of flashed before me in panic. And then she just woke up and was like, fuck, I'm on the floor.
And then you
right,
strangled
I need to get the train. Like, no, you say it. Yeah.
Oh, God.
That was weird.
Yeah, the panic does set in, because I had an incident where a guy nearly died a little while ago on me.
Yeah.
But my first thought was call Charlie.
Yeah, just call me if it happens again.
Good to know.
Because I didn't think, I didn't even consider that he might come round. I just thought, well, he's definitely dead. We need to get rid of him quick. Like, why did my mind skip to getting away with the crime instead of like going, this is an honest mistake, someone's died in my bedroom, and
exactly
I'm really,
the same.
really sorry.
I said that was exactly what like, my instant thing was. Do I call the police?
Yeah.
Not sure if I called the police. Maybe I...
Well, the police can't be trusted, can they? So, you know.
They're the ones out there strangling people, so, yeah. Yeah, well, they might have known how to get rid of a body. Yeah. So they might have been the best allies.
That helps out.
Yeah.
We're talking about dead bodies.
Yeah.
Who's the sexiest person you can think of, and who's the worst person you can think of?
Yep.
Because we have got a dead body question for you.
Well, I thought about this a lot, and it's weird that all the sexy people I was thinking of were men. Like, Lenny Kravitz instantly came to mind. God, he's a perfect specimen of a human. Completely straight, personally, but I can appreciate a sexy man. But the one I settled on was Prince, because I think he's not even human.
Yeah.
I saw him live once, and I've been to tons of gigs at this point, and there's excitement of seeing someone live. But when Prince stepped on stage, it was like an alien. Like it didn't feel like a normal human is there doing their thing. Like, I've seen so many of my idols live; it's been amazing. Prince was a different feeling. So, yeah, I think I'd select Prince there.
Great shout, that.
As the sexiest.
Yeah, Prince is very sexy.
Yeah.
And the worst, it's got to be probably Piers Morgan or Trump, maybe. Piers Morgan, I think. I had a tweet. Kanye, who I now think is a prick because he's just been acting really. Obviously, he's got some issues, but that shouldn't excuse emotional abuse. Anyway, Kanye did a tweet saying, what was it? Reach out to your enemy and tell them you love them or something. It was something weird like that. And I just tweeted Piers Morgan to say, Kanye says, let you know, I love him. It was something along them lines, and Piers was the instant one that came to mind. So it's going to be Piers or Trump, but probably Piers Morgan, as Trump, thankfully, is a bit away from our thoughts more and more these days. Hopefully he might come back. So Piers Morgan, probably.
Okay. So, which leads us to the would you rather. Mm-hmm. So, would you rather have sex with a live Piers Morgan or a freshly dead prince?
Easily a freshly dead prince. I'd rather have sex with a freshly dead prince than most people, than most live people.
Not just any prince, just the artist.
Yeah.
Just the artist.
And not a freshly dead prince I'd rather have sex with than Piers Morgan.
Yeah.
Yep. Although if it was any prince, I'd take one for the team and have sex with a freshly dead Prince Andrew, because it would mean he's dead.
Yes.
Which is a win,
yeah.
I think, for everyone. Yeah. Because he's clearly a horrible person. So if I get, I'll have to, I don't want to, but if it means he's dead,
It's all for the greater
I'll
good,
do it
isn't
for
it?
the greater good, yeah.
Yeah. Well, we won't make you do that. We'll make you have sex with a
Dead prince.
Dead prince.
Dead prince,
Yeah.
not prince.
Prince,
not
yeah.
a prince.
The artist
It's
formerly known as Prince. It's weird because you are the first man that has gone with the dead person. There's been a weird struggle, hasn't there?
Yeah, usually we have to kind of talk men round into sleeping with the dead people because they always go for the live person that they hate. And I kind of think that's because, I don't know, I just find men find it easier to sleep with people that they hate than what women do. Yeah. And I think that's why.
And you think that's hard. It's hard
dark.
For a man to have sex with someone they don't like than a woman. Because as a woman, you're just like...
Well, physically,
done with.
Physically, you'd think that a man would have... Obviously, they have to have a hard on, don't they? But they can just put that all...
Yeah.
They can just hate you and have sex with you.
It kind of implies that men see the act of receiving sex from them as some kind of punishment. Which is a dark psychological thing to get through.
Yeah. Wow. They just actually hate themselves.
We have thought that might be a possibility. Do you just hate yourselves?
Yeah. That would teach him.
Yeah.
What? That's horrible. Punishment of having sex with you.
I know, yeah.
Jesus.
But we always try and talk them round. I don't know why it's so important to us. That we're like, no, come on, a dead person. Let's not be silly now.
At least they're hot.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's we start by going, but they're only freshly dead.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
The freshly dead makes it doable.
Well, yeah. Well, they've already given consent.
Because after a while, it probably isn't physically.
Yeah.
And giving consent, that's great.
Yeah. And they're still a bit warm. It's very much like in the throes of passion they've died, and it'd be rude not to, you want to follow out on their last wishes.
Say goodbye.
Yeah.
Give them a send off.
Yeah, this is what you would have wanted.
It's like when they shoot guns in tribute. It's on a 7-gun parade or whatever it is, or tribute. It's like that, but with a willy. Farewell.
And then you call me. That's done.
Yeah. And then I'm like, okay, right, now we've got to get rid of the body. I think it says a lot about someone. I think everyone's capable of killing, obviously, present company. Yeah. But it's what you do with it afterwards that always blows my mind. Like...
Do you call the police? Do you get rid of it? Or do you fuck it?
Yeah, it's a dilemma.
It's the 3 options.
I mean, let's assume I've already fucked it. So then we're like, cutting them up. None of my knives they won't even go for a sweet potato. So none of my knives are capable of packing up a human. So it's going to have to be a 1 unit thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then how do you move a dead body? They're really quiet. Like dead weight.
Weighty. Yeah, dead weight. Yeah.
I love the idea of this person's died and you've intended to fuck them. Rigor mortis or anything hasn't kicked in and you've been able to think, I've got something that will stick quite nicely on his belly actually. I just reviewed it on Amazon, so this will be ideal. Just pop that there. There we go.
Did you say, shut up Alexa, you stay out of this. Yeah. Oh, I know. Yeah, you can't be asking Alexa how to get rid of a body either, because you know she's going to rat on you.
They're
already ratting on you.
Absolute grass. If not, she'll bring it up next time you got to play around.
Yeah. Last time you bought a hacksaw and some limestone. What would you give this out of 5? 0, because now I'm in prison. So, yeah.
Thanks, Alexa.
Yeah. Well, that's all our questioning done. Yeah. Done for today. I know.
It's been a pleasure.
I don't know how long we've been going on for. I know we do this all the time.
Oh. An hour. And 12 minutes. Oh, that's good.
Oh, that's really good.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Well,
yeah.
Thanks so much for coming in.
Well, thank you for inviting me along. It's been a joy.
Good. Thanks so much for coming
I didn't think I'd confess to murder, but
no,
here we are.
I know. And here we are. And this was the final interview Scroobius ever did. Well, it's a good one to go out with.
Yeah.
Your career's over.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I did want to ask you, when we were on the subject of sex songs, have you ever had sex to one of your own songs?
No. I have had someone send me a sexy video that had one of my songs on in the background.
Oh.
Which was all right. I think I'd feel incredibly uncomfortable having sex to any of my own stuff, anything like that. I don't like hearing my own music at the best of times, let alone in that time. But yes, someone sent me like a kind of a striptease type thing next to one of my songs, and I was like, oh, okay. If I'm not in the room, it feels more comfortable. In the room, it's horrendous. There's been a few times I've been at clubs or whatever else, and there's a kind of thumbs up, they played one of my songs, and I've fucking melted into the floor. Just like, this is horrendous. Can I go and hide somewhere? But yeah, not in the room. It's all right with that. But no, I've never popped on one of my own. I've not got any of my own songs on my sex playlist.
Well, you do hear like of these like Hollywood actors, don't you? Like having sex in rooms full of like pictures of themselves and things like that. Yeah. That's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is really weird.
Says me, who has a house full of pictures of us. Don't worry, I'm not having sex in there. But
one of my favourite memories. So many musicians, if they've got a studio, you've got like your own tour posters up or your frame records and stuff like that, because it's weird having it in the living room. And I remember being in B. Dolan's studio, who's a great American rapper, and me, him and Sage Francis were in there. Because B was on my label in the UK and Sage is in America. And he was playing us some new tracks, and he's loading up his computer, and Sage just paused and looked around and went, so who's the B. Dolan fan? And it just killed me. Just called someone out completely on their arrogance. Like, yep. I've got a shrine to myself. Yep, thank you. But yeah, I love it.
Okay, well.
Yeah, that's
the end.
That's it.
Conclusion.
Yeah, we never know how to end these things, do we? So
no,
just like
we
Peter
just
out slowly. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. See you later.